Welcome to Community Talk Radio. This is Project Independence and You, Talk of the Town on LIU Public Radio. I'm Kristina Liu, your producer and host, along with Otto Los, who is my co-host, my friend, volunteer, all around the face of PI, I'd say. Well, Otto, we had quite the first hour. What's so great about doing the show is we could ask all of our burning questions too, that I think are very common amongst our listeners too. And we talked to Kristina Freshour, who is from the Katz Institute, who's a registered dietitian. We talked about all things nutrition, hydration, fiber, just, fruits. We had some laughs along the way, and we got a lot of golden nuggets. I'm going to need to go back to the office and go through all my golden nuggets.
I wrote them all down. I got
That's right.
A bunch of notes.
Adam might need to share that with me, because really great tips. And I love that word, because I feel, especially in the world of nutrition, you need golden nuggets. I know for myself, because we're in a time where it's very overwhelming, and you're just trying to kind of do the right thing, especially if you're trying to eat healthy and get all the things that you need. So it is hard, because we're in a time of just so much stuff everywhere you go. I mean, it's not like you have a couple of things to choose from. There's aisles of, different products to choose from. So,
a lot of things came up. We've had people on and we've talked about food and whatnot before, but there's always something new that you learn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One of the questions, like, people are all different. Mm-hmm. Everybody's walking around with a different body. Mm-hmm. All right. And within that body, people have kidney problems, stroke problems, or whatever problems. You can have a lot of different kinds of problems. And the question that she raised to ask your doctor is, with my circumstances, what food should I avoid?
Yeah.
And that's a different way of going about it. That leaves you, maybe you get 5% of food you shouldn't eat. Mm-hmm. And the other 95% you can now eat.
And I think it also, because she was saying too that, a lot of times your doctor might not be trained in the, the world of nutrition, but I think bringing that kind of thing up, they can answer and then say, let me refer you to, this dietitian. And, I know a lot of my friends have met with, nutritionists and dietitians, because they've had different things. And, it really does help kind of supplement, because it's, I know for myself too, it's hard, right? You're left to your own devices. You're trying to make sense of all these things. You're not sure if you're doing things, correctly or incorrectly. So I do think it's an important thing to certainly look into. And she was great. And I want to give you her phone number again. Once again, her name was Kristina Freshour from the Katz Institute over at Northwell Health. It's 646-668-6037. So I would certainly give her a call. She was really knowledgeable on a lot of things. And what I also love about having the show, and we've had such wonderful, we've certainly talked about nutrition and different types of it over the years. And what I like too is that, the wonderful people we had on, Kristina was certainly one of them, who, explain things in a practical way. It's not never touch that, don't, because I think I know for myself, because I'm like you, Otto, I'm a moderation kind of girl. And I think, when you say no, I can't have that, I can't do that, then you're just obsessing on it, more and more. And then by the time you do get to have that, you're maybe indulging too much. We always laugh with my mom, because when we were little, she would always, try to get us the latest snacks, me and my brother. And she was like, you guys sure you don't want this? And we were like, no, we're okay, because the fact that it was offered. But then I would have friends come over and they were we're bad, they couldn't have chocolate. So when they were at my house, forget it. It was like a free for all. But I do think that there are certain things that you could certainly do. And I like the little tips, of even with the air fryer, and you kind of want that idea of a potato chip, but in a healthier way, to cut up those things. And listen, a lot of times now there's places that these things are pre-cut too. I love in supermarkets, they'll have a pack and it'll be strips of sweet potatoes that almost look like in the shape of a French fry. So then it's ready to go.
It's the same one. Yeah.
Yes. And I like that.
I bought a few.
Yes. And it's nice, because this way you could throw it in, and listen, it might not be the same, need for chips,
but you didn't have to buy a lot of sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
You just bought a few slices of
And
sweet
listen, you know what
potatoes.
I didn't get to talk to her about too? I love zucchini, and I love zucchini, like pasta, right? We'll call it because it looks like pasta. But I do that, I'll make meatballs, and I'll a lot of times just do, and it's so quick. I just saute up the zucchini pasta, and I mean I do have a contraption, as we were laughing earlier, that you can make your own. I very rarely use that contraption because I tend to buy it already, because it's, it saves me some time. By the time I get home from work, the last thing I want to do is like sit there and, just shred zucchini. But there really are, certainly, and my favorite tip, I think, of our first segment was the sourdough. The
Yes.
benefits of sourdough really excited
Seriously,
me.
I am on the way home going
Yeah.
to
He's like, I wasn't kidding. That's
look
exactly.
into that.
Yeah, but
I
really
I was
great.
already going to call one of these, not call,
Mhm.
but use the app to order a sandwich on the way home.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
your sandwich can have low salt turkey and low salt
yeah.
chicken.
And
She
my
said too.
question to myself is, can you actually do that on this app?
I know it's
I
tough.
have to look.
Sometimes you can put it in the note section,
Yeah.
we will have to check it out, but really great segment. If you missed it, please check it out. And you could also, if you are listening to us, you could watch us also on Project Independence in You, this segment and the prior segment on North Hempstead TV, channel 18 or 65 on Optimum, or channel 46 on Verizon Fios and on North Shore TV. And of course, our shows are on the websites and the WCWP YouTube page too. So really great segments. I encourage people to check it out. And I just love how many golden nuggets we had today. Just really, really good stuff. Next week, we're going to have another jam-packed show. Otto, I hope you are fully hydrated because we're marathoning through. We have two guests next week. We have Maria Alvarez, who is the executive director of New York Statewide Senior Action Council, who is going to discuss New York Senior Medicare Patrol and Medicare fraud prevention. Then we're going to have, during our Talk of the Town segment, Jeannie Moon, who is an author and a Long Island resident. So she will be doing all things about her book. And she's a friend of our Wizard of Oz, Dan Cox, behind the scenes. So I'm excited to have her on too. So we're going to have a lot of good talks, Otto.
Should be good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have to let people know to mark your calendars, because it's crazy to say that we're at the end of June, which I don't know how this even happened. But July 8th kicks off Fun Day Monday 2024 over at North Hempstead Beach Park. It begins at 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And it's got a whole lot of really, really great stuff. On July 8th, it's the Welcome Back to Fun Day Monday with Stan and Edie, who are the performers who I believe always kick off Fun Day Monday. They've been doing it for quite some time. On July 15th is the Vegas Strip tribute, which is, I'm sure, is going to be a great time. July 22nd is the Hawaii Aloha, which is a crowd pleaser always because it's Elvis and the Hawaiian dancers are there. On July 29th is the Resource Fair. So you can get lots and lots of really good information there. On August 5th, there's DJ Don Q. It's at the Copacabana is the theme. On August 12th is country music and dancing. And August 19th is the last Fun Day Monday. It's Hometown USA. Salute to the troops. There's also a vintage car show and a whole lot of other great things that go on there. But if it rains on Mondays, or if it's way too hot on Mondays as well, it gets moved to the Thursday of that week. So always call 311 or 516-869-6311 to make sure. We don't want anyone going to the beach and then finding out that it's not, we want everyone safe.
Well,
It's
like this
can certainly be
coming weekend, I understand the feel like is going to be on Sunday,
Yeah.
particularly 104.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
that's hot.
that is certainly hot. So everyone stay hydrated. And it's just
Actually, I was supposed to be playing golf, and we have concluded that we should not do that.
let's see.
And we were going to play in the afternoon
Oof.
on Sunday. So
Yes.
myself and this other guy who I golf with, who's in my age bracket, said to everybody that this is not a good idea.
Yeah, see, you put safety
So
first,
we
as you always
rescheduled
should.
already.
There you go. See,
Yeah.
proactive. I like it, Otto.
Yes.
Also at Fun Day Monday, prior to the events kicking off at 9 a.m., they're going to be offering different exercise classes. which is nice because this way it's early, so it's not as hot at that point, and it's before all, everyone starts coming in. So there's going to be pickleball instruction at 9 a.m. There will be some yoga, some line dancing, tai chi. There will be all different kinds of little pop-ups going on throughout the summer. But make sure you wear sneakers, comfortable clothes, and of course, stay hydrated. And also there is transportation, and from all different locations. So there's from Great Neck, Manhasset, there's Westbury, Mineola, Williston Park, Albertson, Roslyn Heights, Port Washington, New Hyde Park, Westbury Car Place. So all over the town, there's a whole bunch of different locations. You can just call 311 or 516-869-6311 to get a whole list of that. So really,
that's a lot of locations.
It's a lot. And you could, if anyone is watching, there's a whole flyer.
With buses or
it's
with
buses? Yep, it's busing. Yeah. But there's
these
so
are like
many
routes, like the stops.
Yep, they're bus routes. Yep.
Okay.
But what's really nice is that they're constantly reevaluating it. So a lot of times someone will say, it would be really helpful if we had a stop here. So they're willing to do that too. So always just call 311 for any questions in regarding that. Some other topics that will be coming up throughout the summer. We're going to have 6 secrets to building brain power. We're going to have tips for seniors on how to avoid scams. And also, I didn't get to send you guys the outlook yet, but there's going to be this wonderful actress, model, author. Her name is, I wish I could find it in front of me, is Carol Ostro, who you guys would probably recognize because she's been around for many years. And look, she wrote a book. Here she is. So I'm really excited, but really inspirational woman. She will be on. This is going to be on in August 2nd, actually.
On our show?
On our show, yes. Our great friend of the show, Tina, had reached out to me about getting Carol on here.
She's been really good.
Yeah, she's been on Broadway, and she wrote a whole bunch of really inspirational poems. Even during the pandemic, she had wrote a bunch of poems like during COVID. So I'm really excited for her to be joining us on the show. And so stay tuned. We'll be having more guests. And then Otto, before we know it, we'll be celebrating our 13th anniversary.
Yeah, wow.
Which will be, we're just flying through the times. Also, there are a bunch, if I could find all the great things we had mentioned in our first segment, to check out the Long Island Growers Farmers Market over at Clinton G. Martin Park every Friday beginning June 7th, and it's 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. There's local bakers, fresh fruit, vegetables, and more.
Maybe they have sourdough bread.
I'm going to have check. So when I'm doing this show, because I'm here for the people. Maybe
I should go there first.
That's what I'm saying. I think you're missing out, Otto. I think you need to swing by there first. I truly do. But on top of all of these things, we have many concerts that are going on and movies in the park in North Hempstead. So the July concerts, it kicks off July 7th, and there are so many. There's anything that you could possibly look for. There's country, there's rock, there's which I know the Sting and Police tribute band, I believe Dan is marking on his calendar. And they're going to be going on throughout August, all over the town at so many of our beautiful parks. We say this every week, but the town of North Hempstead really has such great facilities to do this. Then there will be movies in the park too. And that kicks off July 9th with the Barbie movie, which is a really fun movie. So that's at 8:45 at Clark Botanic Garden. And then there is also going to be next week Shakespeare in the park, and that's Hamlet. That will be at Clark Botanic Garden too. So you could really, I think it's just fun. You could, bring your chair, bring a snack, bring your friends, and just have a good time, because there's a lot of great stuff going on in North Hempstead. And if you want the whole list of it, because each week we will certainly promote everything, call 311 or 516-869.
Have you seen Shakespeare at all?
I have this
Any of them?
No, I haven't.
No, Shakespeare and I have never crossed paths.
Wow. Well,
and obviously he's been around a long time.
That's right. Well, you know what? I don't mark it on your calendar.
Yeah, I have watched the movie that was connected.
Yes, that's right. I mean, yeah. I've seen many movies with it as well. But really, it's just, I encourage people this summer, of course, when it's not too hot out, to just get out and really enjoy the beautiful things that North Hempstead has to offer. And if it's too hot, you can go inside Tully Park and utilize that indoor pool. And Otto's been watching the progress over at Tully Park too. So
there's going to be, I understand, some major construction going on over there with the parking lot and in general, the cement part of the facility.
Well, once that's done, it's going to be great because that has been a major issue throughout the years. So
yeah, I mean, they've done a lot of really good work over there as it is.
Yeah.
The track is beautiful. The football field is beautiful. The pickleball field courts and the tennis courts are all top shelf. They're really, really nice.
No, it's really such a great park. And there's even the dog park over there, you know.
And the dog park
is
right? Always busy.
Yeah.
When I walk around there.
You know. Oh, that's so great. That's really awesome. So yes,
check that out. That's a topic by itself, dog parks. How do people function in dog parks?
Yeah, it's
you know, it looks like there could be some situations.
There certainly can be some situations
where the dog owners and the dogs may not click.
Right. My husband and I prefer, you know, not going to a full dog park. You know, we're more of like the
a solo
yes,
dog
right,
park.
right. We don't like to get too crazy. You know, there are it's a lovely socializing thing for the dogs, but of course it is a little stressful. And my dog's a bit of a little maniac, so I don't I don't really want to, you know, we like to you know, take him to a restaurant, take him for a walk, you know, take him to a private like little beach thing. But it really is nice though that, you know, I never paid attention to it until obviously I had a dog. But there really are so many fun little opportunities to take your furry little friend out during the summer if you know he likes to. I'm very fortunate that my dog loves car rides, so he's willing to travel near and far with us. So it's been and of course he's got this dog as we're taking him to Montauk.
Spoiled.
So slightly. We'll put it nicely. But it's just so funny because you know, every year I go to Montauk with my family. Speaking of enjoying things on the island, so it's not far away. But the hotel that we always stayed at is not dog friendly. So this year we're like, oh, you know, we don't want to leave him because he likes to. Oh, I'm gonna we're gonna finish it after the break. Here we go. After the break, we will continue talking on Lowe's. This is Talk of the Town on Project Independence and You, LIU Public Radio, and we will be talking more about the town. So I get this call from my grandma, and she's like,
"What's a podcast, and how much does it cost?"
So I tell her, podcasts are like radio shows, but you can download them on any device and listen to them anywhere at any time, and they're free. And then she says,
"I see, but where can you find good ones?"
And I'm like, go to wcwp.org/podcast and check out the lineup of original shows, or download any podcast app on your phone or tablet and search for LIU Studios. And she's all like,
"Oh, that sounds easy."
And then she asked me what an app is.
LIU Studios Podcasts, available on any podcast app. You know, those little button things on your phone screen. Just ask your grandkids.
Welcome back to Community Talk Radio. This is Project Independence and You, Talk of the Town on LIU Public Radio. All right, let's talk more about the town, but I will dive back into our story before the break was my escapades to Montauk. So we found an Airbnb where is dog friendly. So we're bringing the dog. But of course that comes with the amount of things. It's like a small child because, you know, there's the cooling pad, there's the cooling bandana. We have a little tent for him. I mean, so we are really covering all of our bases, and anyone, you know, that is listening to the show.
Right?
Yes. Easy.
Right.
Yes. My
Easy's living a good life.
He's really living the good life and the expensive life, because then we got him a little cot thing to lie on that's slightly elevated, you know, so he's not fully on the ground. You know, we're trying to cover all of our bases because we are planners, right? And we're trying to avoid any kind of thing. But I think, you know, we're always on the show talking about, you know, what to do in hot weather, especially if you're a senior, and dehydration. But that really also goes for if you are a pet owner, to really be careful, especially in this hot weather. You know, I'm always so nervous because you see these things with like heat stroke with dogs and stuff. And, you know, and I can see it. So it's really important to limit the time, watch the hot pavement. I mean, there's so many things that you have to factor in.
I'm interested in your Airbnb.
Mm-hmm.
You were able to find a home that you could use for a week, or?
So I think we're going for like 4 days. Yeah.
4 days.
Yep. We're going for 4 days.
Right. And you don't have to tell me the dollars, but how did it equate to what your cost would have been?
wasn't that much more.
Okay.
It
good.
was certainly a little more expensive than a hotel. But
And you were able
this
to
way.
get a place.
Yeah.
'Cause
And it's actually, I will, I'll give it a shout out because I'm excited about it. We like to stay in the Amagansett area because it's a little quieter than actually staying in the heart of Montauk. But it's still close enough to go to dinner and
Right,
enjoy
right.
Montauk. So we are staying at an Airbnb that's right on the Wave Crest, which is a lovely hotel's premises. So there's a hotel there. There's a food truck on there too, and you get like a private beach, is what it's really nice for my parents. So that's all there, and we get all the amenities of the Wave Crest, but we're in our own little cottage, which is really nice. So
Yeah, we have a scenario coming up
Mhm.
where my 2-year-old great granddaughter, they're having a party in Riverhead,
Mhm.
all right, at the grandmother and grandfather's home that's out there. So a bunch of us were going to stay there,
Mhm.
but it's in August
Mm.
in the heart of the season,
Mhm.
and the hotels are like
Oof.
$500-600 a night
I know.
for two people.
I
All
know.
right. So now we're thinking, okay, we're not going to do that.
Mhm.
But you just made me think, I wonder if, like most VROB, I think,
Mhm.
vacation rental, BO,
Verbo. Mhm.
yeah, or Airbnb,
Yeah.
are they comparable?
Yeah, so you really have to look. Okay, I do a lot of staying there, especially now with the dog.
Right.
I find that's easier a lot of times than a certain hotel because it's just so. In a lot of my travels, I've spent a lot, and you have to dig through it because it's hard. Because the bottom line is, out east of Long Island is beautiful, but it's very expensive,
In July and
and
August.
it's the heart of the season, so
Yeah.
it's very hard
Yeah.
unless you booked something
Way
a
out.
year or two in advance.
Not like 6 weeks.
No,
like
it's hard, but sometimes you can find and so it's if it hasn't been rented the spot, then a lot of times they're willing to the price but it does fluctuate because you can look one day and it's something, and then all of a sudden the next it's like astronomical. So it is tough, but
I mean, that's how I get the house that we use.
Yeah,
when we go
right.
in
Right.
July, Pittstown, New
Yes,
Jersey.
I love it. It's so cute. Always a really, really nice.
And
stay.
it really is nice. But I'm thinking maybe I ought to look into that.
There's different apps too, and don't quote me. I wish I had the exact thing, but I think it's called something like last minute stays
Okay.
or something. And you could find things that are you know, but if you dig through, a lot of times you can find something. And if you're not looking for particular amenities, it's a little easier. My search was hard because I had my parents and we wanted something that was on the beach, like in walking distance. I wouldn't
Right.
have to drive to. So it was like a little more
You're going to
limited,
pay
our
for that.
search.
I mean,
Oh, you're gonna pay for it.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
whatever perk, if you
Right.
want to call it that,
Exactly.
you want.
Right.
Like if you want air conditioning,
Right.
all right, which would be a must
Yes.
for us,
Right.
especially right now.
Yeah.
All these things add on
Yeah, it's hard, right?
to
But
the demand.
certainly it's definitely, but it's a lovely thing. A perk about Long Island is being able to go out east. I love doing that. But it's costly, certainly, as many things are. But Otto, on that note, my little sidebar of what to do with your furry friend. In addition to the North Hempstead concerts, Nassau County also has a lot of senior summer concerts that are at noon, which is really nice because a lot of these concerts, tend to be at the night. But this is geared towards seniors, and they're the noontime concert series, which is Wednesdays from 12 to 2 p.m. at Eisenhower Park. All events are weather permitting. You can call 516-572-0200 for up-to-date
I want to take
information.
a picture of that.
Oh, sure, certainly.
Yeah.
The admission is free. Bring blankets and chairs. There's going to be the next one is June 26th, which is going to be the Harmonizers.
Where will that be?
They're all at Eisenhower Park.
Okay.
Yep. So, and then there's another afternoon concert series that is 4 o'clock to 5:30 p.m. So you have your two options. This is on Mondays. Yep, all on this flyer. That's going to be July 18th, and it's the Excellence and the Dimensions are going to be there. So it's really nice, and I think it's a fun option. Obviously, Eisenhower Park is not far away from people who live in the town of North Hempstead. and you're able to enjoy these things during the day, because I know a lot of times seniors are looking for, earlier activities as opposed to later ones. I'm going to hand this over to Otto right here. Also, the town of North Hempstead has announced its rain barrel and composter sales. We talk about this often, about the eco-friendly initiatives in the town of North Hempstead. And composting and using a rain barrel are constructive ways to contribute to environmental sustainability while also benefiting you and your family. We're always intrigued by this, because it can actually, having this rain barrel and composter in your home can reduce water costs, keep the town's waterways clean, and provide a natural water source for plants and gardens. It helps reduce the amount of pollution in these storm drains, and it's these little things. I always say that, everyone says, oh, I don't need to do that too much. But, you just do like a little thing. And a lot of times it can go a long way in benefiting the community. So I think it's great that North Hempstead's always looking at these different
I often
issues.
think about the amount of garbage
waste
created
I know
by all of us.
Yeah,
right?
I know
And that includes food that goes out, all these devices that we throw away that don't get fixed.
I know.
You have to think about 50 years from now, where they're going to put all this stuff.
Yeah, because I think a lot of times you're just not thinking, right? So you're just
Well, I
like,
mean,
okay,
collectively,
it's just,
you
yeah,
figure-
right.
but if everybody does what we all do, you wind up with a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, for absolutely. You're completely.
I've read many times in the last 50 years, we've created more garbage than all of mankind in all the years before that.
It's hard, because
that's the nature of
we're in this like weird time of there's, convenience.
Fixed.
Right. Convenience is huge, right?
Right.
So there's a lot of disposable things, so it's I'm looking right here. I got a to-go cup I just grabbed because it's quick and easy and I can go.
And it comes in a plastic
Right.
container.
Comes in a plastic container. The
Or
lid is
plastic
right.
bottle.
Think about paper towels.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like all these things that you just, go and you're not thinking, because it's just like part of like the convenience of
Throw them out.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really something that, but I think, and then on the flip side, it's like we are more aware of the damage that's getting caused, by these things. So I always think, like,
I mean, this is more than we can handle on
Yeah,
this show.
but
But how do you, first of all, handle the volume of stuff that we create?
I know.
I mean, huge.
I look at my own garbage that we take out of our house. I have my husband and I, our dog upstairs. I have my parents. The amount of garbage, like you would think we were having like a wild party,
Yeah, that's one house.
Yeah. And it's just, but it goes back into it. There's a lot of things that are, the paper plates that, like, it's just, there's so many things that, but I do think in this kind of circumstance, it's, enacting a small change that you're going to commit to, because it can be overwhelming, right? And I get it. These things are convenient and it's easy a lot of times, especially when we're talking for seniors, it might just be an easier thing. A lot of these more disposable kind of things. But I think if you just try and, have one small little change in yourself, then, they add up. If everyone just did like a little bit, it certainly goes a long way.
It's a bigger problem than we can handle.
It is. No, we wish it, but the town of North Hempstead, which is nice, really is aware of these things and promoting it and trying to come up with different creative things that are eco-friendly and that will, help the community. And to pick up, if you're interested in doing these composting or the rain barrels, it's actually, if you're listening to the show live, which is Friday, June 21st from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. or Saturday, June 22nd from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then throughout the year, there will be certainly more dates available too. So
contributing to the community.
Yes.
I've talked in the past about like GoodRx as an example. I now have a specific case where through my insurance company, the prescription for this penicillin thing was $90.
Okay.
All right. So normally people would just go and pay the $90.
Right.
So I went on GoodRx, same location, same Walgreens. I get a coupon for $45 for the same thing. So just by going to GoodRx, putting in the prescription, I save $45. I'm big on that. I'm not too good on saving, 25 cents on whatever.
I love a coupon. I'm a coupon gal.
Yeah,
I
I'm
love
not good
it.
on a lower
Yes.
denomination
But you know, it
coupons,
adds up.
but this kind of
It adds up though.
denomination I'm into. All
Yeah.
right. And
So Otto, now with this kind of thing, so you go to a website.
you go to Good RX.
Uh-huh.
It says, okay, put in the prescription, the drug that you want to get. And then it gives you a bunch of choices for different stores. You don't have to go to the one, like I go to this because
Right.
it's convenient.
Right.
All right. And we all do, I'm sure, go to a place,
right.
because it's
Yeah, it keeps it
convenient.
all in one place.
Yeah. So in the same store, for the same exact thing, I saved $45. That's one small example.
Yeah.
I've saved a couple hundred
Yeah.
in some cases just by going to Good RX. And I have no idea how it works. No idea. And the people in the pharmacy have no idea. They really don't. So Walgreens winds up getting $45 instead of 90.
Yeah.
I
But
don't know who makes up the difference. I
well,
have
you know what?
no idea.
It's not, you don't need to worry about that. But
No.
I think it is. I mean, that's such a huge thing.
But if I didn't look on Good
Right.
RX, I would pay $90.
Okay.
And then, that'd be the end
You're
of it.
saving our
And Good
listeners some
RX is
money.
only one example. There are others, that you can go to. And I don't have their names memorized, but
No, but that's really great. And the fact that it's easy to do. So why not?
yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not, so you save $1 or whatever. By the end of the year, you go through all this hoop-de-doo and you save $100.
Yeah.
I'd rather save like $500 on some of these prescriptions.
I think any way to save is great. What I love too, which is great, we always talk about the benefits of technology. And also, if anyone is listening live, you could still make it over to our last installment of the Smart Van. I'm gonna be scheduling more dates hopefully this fall. But it's over at the Port Washington Adult Activity Center. Because I think that there are a lot of benefits to technology, and I love these apps now for like every store, and it kind of just logs all your coupons. I'll give an example of like CVS. Everyone knows the funny story about the CVS receipt that's like a crazy, giant chain of all these coupons. And I used to sit there and, cut those coupons and hold on to it. But what's great about the app now is that it's right in there, so it automatically, you just send it to the card and it's just on your card. And it's just so satisfying to me.
I didn't know that one.
It's so great. I can't even tell you how. And what I get, if you get a paper coupon in the mail, sometimes you'll get a paper coupon saying 40% off
get
your
book full of coupons.
Yeah. So this will be for CVS. It'll say, and it's just one example. Many places do this. But in my app, it'll also say like, it'll show that 40% off paper coupon, and you just add it right into your rewards. So by the time you go and I go through and I see different things that I know I might be interested in purchasing that day. And I'm telling you, the satisfaction I get of just watching the money come up.
You take this app.
Yep. You just download.
Go to the store.
Yep.
And what happens? You buy it?
Yeah. So, figure it's like a little CVS app, and it has your extra care, code, number, barcode, and you don't even need your card anymore, because if you scan, you just hand them the phone, they'll scan, that. And then there's a section that says, rewards and coupons. So you'll look and, that's where I'll see all my rewards and different things. So if I want to buy, Poland spring water, it'll say, 5 cents off Poland, whatever it might be. We were laughing, but like these things really add up, and you just hit the button, say, send to my card. So when the time comes in, you bring it, you're checking out, it'll automatically, take all that stuff off from.
So these are items that you saw on their app.
Yep.
That you could get a discount for.
Yeah, like something I knew, like I needed. And you could say there's a search bar. So like, let's say I needed razors. Right. I would type in razors in the search bar, and then, it'll show you, and then, there's the razors I like. So I'm going to add that to and there's all, toothpaste.
I guess there are dates, expiration.
Yes.
Dates.
Yep. And they give you the little expiration date right on the bottom. Yeah. But it's really wonderful. And I do, I have to buy allergy medication for my husband and I love that, because there'll be a lot of times like substantial coupons that'll take, 30% off of it or $10 off, like really things. And it's just nice because you just, it just go through like, before I go, I might get this. And then boom. And I've saved a lot of money doing that. And there's a lot.
Do you have to go to the store, or do you do it online?
I go to the store, but that's an interesting question. I think as long as you're putting your extra care number in, you're able to get those discount things. But that's an interesting question. I'll have to look into that. But
because I'm kind of hooked into Amazon, the lazy way.
I know. Listen, I get it. I get it. That's also, my mom's the same way. My mom very rarely goes into stores, that much unless she like has to, since COVID and stuff. So, I mean, she's constantly ordering
Getting
everything.
shipments.
Yes, right. I mean, it's in bulk half the time. Like, do we need 20 shampoos? But whatever.
Well, that's one of the problems.
Yeah.
Of course.
But
like I tried to buy a pen,
Mhm.
and
Oh,
it
forget.
was like you get 10 pens.
Yeah.
I don't want 10 pens.
I know.
want one pen.
I know. It's tough, but it's you kind of have to balance out what
buy 8
is it.
tube of toothpaste.
Yeah.
You gotta buy 10.
See, but that's the thing though, and that's what's tough about ordering from that kind of thing. So everything has its perks, but it's also convenient. So you have to weigh what you want to do.
Yeah, I'm into convenience.
Yes, as you should be. You deserve it at this point in life. I think you certainly deserve it. Also for North Hempstead, there's going to be a grand night for singing. The Plaza Theatrical Productions is presenting a fresh take on Rodgers and Hammerstein classic Oklahoma, Carousel, The King and I, South Pacific, and The Sound of Music. It will be on Wednesday, June 26th at 7 p.m. over at North Hempstead Beach Park. So that's another fun thing.
Will you be singing there?
I wish. That's not one of my, I have many talents, but singing is not one of my strong suits.
No, mine either. I can sing if somebody else is singing.
Otto, we're gonna have to chime into that after. After the break, Otto and I will continue talking about what's going on in the town of North Hempstead. You're listening to Project Independence and You Talk of the Town on LIU Public Radio.
WCWP is your home for great music and great conversation. You'll find all that and more on WCWP.org. Listen live on the web, check out the lineup, subscribe to podcasts, and stay up to date on the latest station events. Get in touch with us and let us know if you like what you're hearing. And find out how you can support or get involved at the only community public radio station serving Nassau's North Shore. Plus, sign up to get a free bumper sticker. It's all online at WCWP.org.
Welcome back to Community Talk Radio. This is Project Independence and You Talk of the Town on LIU Public Radio. Let's talk more about the town and all the great things going on. I wanted to mention a special shout out to our partner in so many things in the town of North Hempstead, provides our nurses, is Northwell Health. The town and Northwell Health really has such a wonderful partnership, and they are sponsoring the health resource fair at Fun Day Monday. And also they're going to be doing, which is hot off the press. I haven't even sent this one out yet. I got from communications that the town and North Shore University Hospital, Northwell Health, and Long Island Jewish Medical Center will be providing Wellness Wednesdays. And this is all throughout the summer with a whole bunch of different health topics. July 10th, the first one is Saving Lives Training. That's going to be at Manor Haven Beach Park from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. On July 17th, there's a skin cancer screening that will be offered at Clinton G. Martin Park from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And I really encourage people to do that. I don't believe you need to make an appointment, but you can call 311 for that. I'm pretty sure you just show up to the van and you're able to. It was very well attended last year because we got to see we were in the building, but it's something that I think a lot of people, don't realize. You'll go to your doctor, you'll have these things, but you might not go to the dermatologist and really get a check. And it is something that is important to certainly do and to monitor. We've talked about this on the show, to really just be aware of your body too. And if there's something on you that looks like it's, a little different, to really get it checked out, because, catching these kind of things early is very important.
Talking from very hard experience. Someone who loved the sun, was in the sun all the time, went to the beach, did the whole bit. If you see any kind of skin problem earlier in the game, do something about it, because it
makes such a difference.
And I ended up with Mohs surgery twice. Once a real beauty on the top of my head, and once on the side of my face. So had I gone earlier, it wouldn't have been as bad. So you don't want to get involved with Mohs surgery if you can avoid it. And the best way to do that is to stop problems before they get to that category.
And we talk about it all the time. Listen, I'm a sun lover too. I love the beach. I love the sun. As we talked about in our first segment, it's important, right, to get some of that vitamin D,
Yeah.
but it's really just for, to be outside, without sunblock, for, 20 minutes to get some soak in, then put it on, and wear, clothing that covers you. They mix, we've talked about this on the show too. It's just these breathable clothing that they have now.
Under Armour.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're great. I mean, like, listen, my husband can do a full fashion show with all the, things I've purchased him, because he works outside, and it's nice because they're quick drying, they're lightweight, so you can get, so I even bought myself them because as I said, I could spend all day long at the beach. And when I was younger, I would just be out there, I don't know how we never owned an umbrella until probably about like 2 years ago. But now, it's something that it still can be just as enjoyable. You set up the umbrella, you wear these, because I'll get some sun. I'm okay. Like now it's time for me. I have my big hat,
The people
sunglasses.
who do, like you mentioned, your husband, Jay, landscaping type work.
Yeah.
And they work hard, in my opinion, right? And they are many times fully clothed, with long sleeve shirts, long pants.
I know. And you're like, oh my God, this
hat.
looks so hot to them, but it's something that
and they're out in the hot days and they're still like that.
Yeah.
So somewhere along the line, they adapt to the fact that you don't have to wear shorts. You don't have to wear short sleeve shirts, or you can wear a hat that comes down.
I know. I feel horrible when I go to my husband, like, oh, it's so cold. It's so cold in my office. I need to come outside. And he is like, oh, it's so cold in your office, is it? But it's really something that, I'm glad that you mentioned, because we have to give a shout out to people working outside.
Is that your body will adapt to the heat.
Yeah, because I think it's
as long as you stay
and you're protecting yourself, from those constant sun, because you are literally outside all day long. But it's really, invest in these things. I love them, and like I said, they are lightweight, and the fact that they can get wet and dry fast is really lovely too. And I know, especially for like all my little nieces and nephews, they always have their little long sleeve things on now. So it's important. Wear that big hat, certainly wear your sunscreen, but you can still enjoy the sun too. So you're able to balance nice days with being safe. But check out, as I mentioned, July 17th, the skin cancer screening at Clinton G. Martin Park. On July 24th, there will be another Saving Lives training at Whitney Pond Park, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. And there'll be another skin cancer screening at Manor Haven Beach Park, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So shout out to Northwell for providing these really great services for the town. So, right, we can learn something, Otto, while enjoying. And I like that they're at like nice places too. So
yeah,
you could certainly check it out.
And it's free.
Right? That's what we like the best. Also, mark down on your calendar, if you were listening to us live, Saturday, June 22nd, there's a free community health fair.
That's tomorrow.
That is tomorrow. So you need to be listening to us live. Catholic Health is going to be providing this thing. And it's really healthy fun for all ages. There's going to be a whole bunch of free health screenings, blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, body mass index, a foot screening, which is interesting, which I'm actually intrigued by that. That is Saturday, June 22nd, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. over at 245 Old Country Road in Melville. There'll also be healthy eating and nutrition. There'll be some kids activities, a little teddy bear clinic, coloring. Catholic Health will also be having different tables with their different specialties, which are cardiac services, CPR first aid, Narcan kits will be available, psychology, chemical dependency, family care center, breast health, pediatrics. I mean, there's a whole list of things. But it's a fun day to get, and that's the best, and free giveaways, which anyone listening,
Where is this?
This is 245 Old Country Road in Melville.
So it's outside or inside?
It is outside. So if it rains, it'll be on June 23rd, which is Sunday. So you can call 516-705-3839 if you have any questions. And if you register, you can get a free gift.
That foot screening is one that you don't hear too often.
No, that's what I was reading through. I thought that was interesting. So I'm actually going to reach out to Catholic Health about that, because that's something that
a long time ago we had a podiatrist on, and I often wonder, well, what do you need a podiatrist for? But then when we started talking to the podiatrist, not everybody has good feet, and not everybody can reach their feet.
So that's really
issue.
such a huge issue, because that's something that I know that my grandparents, struggled with, as well as they got older, because it's hard, you take it for granted, right, that you can do this. I always tell people, if you can, like, just go get a pedicure, which is nice. I was telling my dad that, but they also have these contraptions now. And why I know this is because I purchased it for my dad. He, many years ago luckily everything was okay. He did roofing, and he fell off of a roof and really messed up his knees and his feet.
Ooh.
So he has, difficulty, walking a lot of times. So, and like bending. But they have all these really interesting contraptions now, that are like, they'll have like a long piece with the clipper, so you don't have to bend as far. So I really encourage people to like look at those things, but to really go to a podiatrist is able to cut your nails too, and that's something that's really huge. And especially there's a lot of people, it's so important to keep your foot health good, when you have diabetes. I know so many people that have gotten infections, had to have their feet amputated. I mean, like toes really serious
We
things.
had my friend on the show.
Yes, right.
Ended up with both legs amputated.
No, so it's important, and I think that there are so many different issues with feet, especially we've talked about on the show, like neuropathy and so many different things that are really tough for people. And, bunion. I mean, that can really impair and make your walking uncomfortable. So, I am intrigued by this foot. So I'm going to actually reach out after this to, our partnership over at Catholic Health, because I'm curious to know how they do these foot screenings, and maybe we could bring it to North Hempstead. So I will certainly check that out.
Probably a good thing on that part of it is, what can you do to try to prevent getting foot problems?
Right.
Like we talk about prevention, risk factors, smoking,
right.
Are there things that you could do for your feet?
That's a great thing.
Yeah.
That's and I think, listen, especially, women, and, we've all done some damage to our feet over the years with absurd shoes and high heels, and it's like painful looking things. But
I mean, women, frankly, have been put themselves through some rugged stuff.
Yeah, it's really something. But I do think, that, and it's, it's so important to find, a comfortable, sturdy shoe, especially as you get older. I mean, I know so many seniors that have fallen because of improper footwear. So something might be comfortable, but if you're unsteady, you probably shouldn't be wearing a flip-flop. You really need that sneaker, and they make.
That's a very touchy subject, because I know people that shouldn't be wearing the shoes that they wear.
Yeah.
But
I know.
like those shoes.
I know. It's a tough one. It's like giving up the keys, it is
not going to change.
But I, because certainly I will bring my dad, as I mentioned, it's very hard, because he gets, from shattering his heels, it's very uncomfortable shoes. So I'm always on a hunt, to find the most comfortable shoe for him. And I'll give a little shout out to Skechers, because they had a shoe that you actually, it looks like it has like laces, but it's a slip on. So it's like comfortable, and there's like a lot of comfort cushion in it. So we got him that for Father's Day. My brother actually picked those up, because it's hard, and you want something that is sturdy, because it really helps you walking. And
Skechers golf shoes. They make a lot of shoes.
A lot of great. No, I have to say, there's a lot of really good options for,
good shoes,
whatever your needs might be.
You are going to pay for good shoes.
But sometimes you have to, right? You want it to be sturdy, because the alternative is you don't have a good shoe on, you fall down. And it could just really impact a lot. But I do think, Otto, that we might need to have a podiatrist.
That's a whole topic by itself. All right. Like shoes that people wear. If you wear shoes that do not slide at all, and they stick when you walk, I've witnessed this. People's foot sticks, and then they fall forward. It'd be interesting to talk to people who this is what they do. What kind of shoe should you wear?
No, and there's two with a podiatrist, because I know, even with my husband, I'll bring it up, from working for so many years, he doesn't have a big arch on his foot. It's like kind of flat now. Yeah. And so, that in itself can be very taxing on your knee, all these things. So
that would keep you out of the military.
Yes, I know. I actually have said that to him. I said, well, babe, we'd be in luck. But he, they sell inserts, and it's really important to, like, and they will fit you, for things to, because to put into his work boots, that make it more comfortable and like relieve some of that, pressure. So there's so many reasons to go to the podiatrist, and they have such cool contraptions now that they you're able to do.
They
So
make custom made.
yeah. Because you need to, because sometimes like your one foot might be different than the other foot. I mean, there's like a whole host of things. And this, Otto, how we've been talking about this shows why we need to have a podiatrist on the
That's why we
show.
need to get
That's it. We just brainstormed right here on the show. I will
foot
put that on my list.
screening specialist.
Yeah, absolutely. But definitely it's important to care for all parts of your body is the overall message in this. Go see your dermatologist, go see your foot, all parts of the body, right? Get it checked out.
So every day you'll have a plan because you got to go to the dentist.
It's a lot. I know. But I see, my thing is, I think if you're a little more proactive with things, obviously there's certain things none of us can control. But a lot of things, if you just do it, I'm saying this out loud because I want myself to actually do these things. So
yeah, but if you sit around with a bunch of seniors, all right, you're talking about you got a dentist appointment, a urologist appointment, a general doctor, a cardiologist, this or that, and and when you make one appointment, you end up with three more.
I know. Yeah. I do know it's tough, right? But what's the other alternative?
I mean, it's part of, and that's frankly where seniors need support.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times some seniors, when they go to the doctor, they basically are going with no preparation of any kind. I don't care what doctor it is, cardiologist or foot doctor. And you really need a plan what you're there for.
No, because you make it more, even in our first hour, talking to Kristina, our registered dietitian, she was saying how important it is to come in with questions, and we hear that all the time from, professionals that, you're making your appointment just more efficient, for everyone in general. And this way it's hard. I say it all, especially if it's a scary appointment, you don't know, like your mind, I know I go blank. I go full panic. So it's always helpful to kind of have, whether it's a friend or, you hire someone to go with you, or it's a family member, whatever it is, to kind of just process the information with you, I think is certainly helpful too, because it can be quite stressful. But I digress. Anyway, the STOP program, Otto, is Saturday, June 29th, which is next week, over at Westbury High School. You can bring your aerosols, your household chemicals, pesticides, disinfectants, bulbs, thermostats, rechargeable batteries, TVs, computers. Of course, you could shred up to 6 legal boxes of documents.
That's a lot.
Free of charge. That's a lot. I think about that all the time. They're very big boxes to do. And of course, you could donate, used clothing, stuffed animals, electronics, toys, sporting equipment, shoes, books, area rugs, silverware, scooters, glassware, dishes, cosmetics, which I think it's just so nice. We're talking about, helping the environment out. And it's a really great time to kind of bring it to a place where things are being properly disposed of.
Post Road and Hillside Avenue.
There you go. Absolutely. Are you, Otto, going to be going to this one? Or are you holding out for the September one?
I'm holding out.
You're holding out for this. You want to really go in with a substantial. You want to feel. I understand. I get it. You want to feel. You really did your part. But so what I'm referring to is September 28th at North Hempstead Beach Park. There will be another STOP program, so you could do both. You could do a little at a time, but I love that there's so many different things that you're able to get rid of, because I know for myself, a lot of times I'll be like, how do I even dispose of this? Like you'll have something in the house and you might not know, but for this, they take so much. And I love that Big Brother, Big Sister Long Island will take a lot of these other more household things. I know myself, I can accumulate a lot of glassware, certainly. So this is a perfect time to, all those 10,000 mugs you might have in your cabinet, can go to a good home. Certainly.
That's another topic.
Oh,
everybody means well. And, you get your grandpa mug and you ever got 80 of them.
I like that everybody means well.
Yeah, I mean, that's the true facts.
I love a mug, but then I have my favorites. And I'm going to say I have my Project Independence and you mugs that are my
the other thing is I find mugs do not keep coffee hot. So
interesting.
I have other cups that are
Right,
better.
more of like a
I
traveling
like
kind
hot
of thing.
coffee,
Yes.
So mugs, because of the thickness, a
I
lot
get
of
it.
times really do not do much for keeping
understand.
the coffee hot.
I got it.
So now you got a whole closet full of
I know.
mugs.
Yeah, well, please, since I got a dog, ask me how many Boston Terrier mugs I have purchased anyway. But I'm my own worst enemy.
Your dog really
in all
likes
that.
them, though.
Yes. He just,
Yeah.
he likes to know that he's being represented.
Yeah, right.
At all times,
Yeah.
certainly.
When he goes to the door council.
he really does. But Otto, what a show. I want to thank everyone for listening to Project Independence and You, Talk of the Town. I'd like to thank you, Otto, for another great show. Project Independence and You is a production of Long Island University Public Radio, and a special thank you to Dan Cox, station manager. Join us again next Friday at 10 a.m. on LIU Public Radio. Goodbye and have a great weekend and stay cool.